So for today's session, our topic will be partnership liquidation. So under partnership liquidation, we are to learn two types of liquidation. We have your lump sum liquidation and your installment liquidation. But for this particular session, we will have a focus on your lump sum liquidation. But before anything else, we need to look back into the process or uh, the stages on the life of a partnership. So remember before we started with partnership formation, wherein we account for your partner's investment. And in accounting for partner's investment, we look with your contributed capital and agreed capital. If your contributed capital is equal to your agreed capital, we call this one your net investment method. But if your contributed capital is not equal to your agreed capital, we have your bonus method. And under your bonus method, we have either bonus to or bonus from. But this one is only a transfer of capital. This is only a transfer of capital. When we say bonus to, an amount is added to the investment of another partner. Bonus from, an amount is deducted from the investment of one partner, which results now to the transfer of capital. After formation, we talk about your partnership operation. So in partnership operation, we learned about the distribution of profit or loss. So it depends if ever there is an agreement or no agreement. If there is agreement, you follow the agreement. If there is no agreement, you can make use of the partner's capital. But again, take note, for your agreement, we have different types of sharing for your profit agreement. And we also talk about here your bonus, your salaries, your interest. And I taught you how to compute for your interest. If ever it is weighted average, it is simple average, it is based on original, it is based on beginning, and it is based on ending. So again, what is the difference between original and beginning capital? Original capital is the initial investment. Beginning capital is the amount of capital at January 1. So beginning capital is the amount of capital at January 1. And ending capital is the amount of capital at the end. So that is December 31. So for salaries and interest, take note, this is always annual, sabi natin, di ba? So we need to get for your monthly salary in case you are only to share for the month. Mga ganon, di ba? And then for bonus, we have different modes of giving your bonus. But bonus is only given if there is a remaining positive amount. Okay, so it can be bonus after salaries and interest after bonus. Bonus before salaries and interest. Bonus after bonus, but before salaries and interest. And I told you, for your bonus, you do not need to memorize the formula. Just make your formula. Just make your formula. If it is after, it means you need to deduct that one. If it is before, you need to ignore it. Before, you need to ignore it. So, for example, bonus is after salaries and interest, but before bonus. Okay, so bonus is equal to your net income, the percentage multiplied by net income after salaries and interest. But if that is after, you need to deduct it. So after salaries, after interest, and if it's before, you need to ignore. So based on our formula, to get for the bonus, the percentage we multiply to your net income after salaries and interest. After, take note, you need to deduct. After, you need to deduct. Okay? So you do not need to memorize the formula. You just follow whatever is the problem is telling you by taking into account after as a deduction, before by ignoring it. Clear? Okay. And also we discussed that there is also a type of agreement wherein it tells you to provide for the profit or loss distribution in order of priority. So I hope you still know this one. If that is in order of priority, you just follow the priority. Follow the priority up to the extent of that priority. Okay? And I hope you still remember how to divide the profit or loss up to the extent only. Also, we have your indifference point. What is an indifference point again? It is the point of your profit or your loss or your net income in which two profit agreements, two profit agreements are equal or indifferent. Naalala nyo yung ito yung profit agreement 1 and profit agreement 2, they must be equal and you need to compute for the amount of net income na magi-equal sila. Okay? So we also discussed that one in your partnership operation. And after your partnership operation, we discussed about your partnership dissolution. Take note, dissolution is different from liquidation. We said that in your dissolution, it does not necessarily mean it is the termination of the partnership business. So dissolution is only a change in the ownership. A dissolution is only a change in the ownership. So with this dissolution, that is a change in ownership, we account whether the change in ownership is an addition or an increase in the ownership or a decrease in the ownership. If that is an increase, we call that your admission. And if that is an admission by purchase of interest or by investment. If that is a decrease, what are the type of dissolution wherein there is a decrease in ownership? We have your death, we have your retirement, and we have your withdrawal. So if that is death, retirement, or withdrawal, dalawa naman yan. It is either purchased by a partner or a purchase by the partnership. Okay. And you need to just look whether you need to give bonus or not, or you need to recognize goodwill or not. And now we are down to our last stage on the cycle of a partnership business. And that is known as your partnership liquidation. So what is a partnership liquidation? When you say partnership liquidation, this is already the time wherein the business operation or partnership business is terminated or ended. So this is the end of the life of the partnership business. So what are the terms that are usually used in your partnership liquidation? We have the following terms. First, we have your winding up. So what do we mean by winding up? So winding up is the process of settling the business or partnership affairs. Process of settling the business or partnership affairs. Okay. Normally, winding up is synonymous to liquidation. This is synonymous to liquidation. Okay, so our first term that we will discuss under partnership liquidation is winding up. So when we say winding up, you will settle the business or partnership affairs. Normally, you will settle the liabilities of the partnership. And then whatever is remainder or remaining, you need to distribute it to the partners. Another is your termination. Okay. So this is another term in your partnership liquidation, termination. When we say termination, this is the point where all partnership affairs are ended. So in short, if this is the process, so this is the whole winding up period. This is all the winding up period, and this is the end, right? This end is known as your termination. Okay? So if this is the whole winding up period, the end of that winding up period is known as your termination. And then the term liquidation. So for your liquidation, this is the time in between dissolution and termination. So normally, it is also known as your winding up. So normally kasi, there is also a dissolution relating to liquidation. So what is that? Yan yung nag-change ng ownership pero hindi na tinuloy yung business. So yun yung dissolution na punta na sa liquidation. So for example, nag-dissolve sila dito, yung period na yan from dissolution up to termination is known as liquidation. Or winding up, sabi nga natin, it is synonymous to liquidation. But what's the difference between winding up and liquidation? In your liquidation, there is a dissolution first prior to termination. In winding up, you just liquidated without the reason of dissolution. But anyway, they are interchangeable. Whether winding up or liquidation, it is the same. You will just settle the partnership affairs. Okay? You will just settle the partnership affairs. Okay, so before we proceed further, we just need to learn the priority of payment on liquidation. So take note, you are to settle the affairs. So when we say settle the affairs, ano sinabi natin kanina? We will pay the liabilities of the partnership. So what are these liabilities of the partnership? Take note, when we talk about your liabilities, di ba, sabi natin, asset is equal to your liability. So your asset is liable, asset is for the liability on your creditors and your owners, di ba? So when we say liability of the partnership, it is composed of two types of liability. It is a liability to the creditors and a liability to the owners. So yun yung ibig sabihin ng settle the affairs. But then, we need to know our priority of payment. So what do we mean by priority of payment? When we say priority of payment, di ba we need to settle the affairs? Kailangan nating bayaran yung liability. So yung liability ba ang una nating babayaran? Yun ba yung liability kay creditor o yung liability kay owners? Ano yung uunahin natin dyan? So kaya meron tayong priority of payment. So what are the priorities of payment? So the first priority of payment is, of course, payment of liquidation expenses. So with this, ibig sabihin guys, before paying the liability of the partnership, you need to pay any liquidation expense. You need to pay any liquidation expense because without a liquidation expense, you cannot undergo your liquidation. So, una, babayaran ang liquidation expense. Pangalawa, payment to outside creditors. Payment to outside creditors. And then, third, payment to inside creditors. Sir, what is the difference by outside creditors and inside creditors? So, dito kasi sa inside creditors, dun sa outside creditors, these are your normal creditors who are either your trade creditors, which provided for your supplies, yung mga accounts payable ninyo, or yung inutang ninyo sa banko, those are your loans payable. So those are known as outside creditors. Yung inside creditors naman, ito yung kay partnership to partner. So umutang si partner kay partnership or umutang si partnership kay partner. So pagka loan from, this is a liability, or loan from is a receivable. Loan from is a receivable. So ibig sabihin nito, si partnership ay umutang from partner. Okay? So, ay baliktad. Dapat loan from is a payable. Tama ba? Loan from partner. Loan to partner. Okay. Loan to partner. Loan from. Pag loan to, pinautang mo si partner. So partnership to partner. Loan from, it is from partner to partnership. Pwede lang ding partner loan, ganon. Partner loan. Pag nakalagay ang partner loan sa asset, it is a receivable. Okay? Pag nakalagay naman siya sa liability, it is a payable. Okay? So pagka loan from, pinautang ni partner si partnership. Loan to, pinautang ni partnership si partner. Okay? So ingat kayo dyan pagka loan to or loan from. Pag loan to or loan from, tignan nyo in the basis of the partnership. So, si partnership daw nag-loan to. So, nagpautang siya. Si partnership daw nag-loan from. So, umutang siya. Okay? Loan from, umutang. Loan to, nagpautang. Okay? Pagka inside creditors, take note, it is partnership to partner. Outside creditors, it is partnership to third parties. Partnership to third parties. Okay, so in your payment to inside creditors, meron tayong tinatawag dito na doctrine of offset, or sometimes it's known as right of offset. Okay, so in offsetting, ang nangyayari kasi dito, there is a deficit on partner capital. So what do we mean by a deficit on partner capital? A deficit on partner capital is a negative capital balance. Okay? Negative capital balance. So once we have a negative capital balance, we have a deficit on partner capital. So what we do is we try to offset the liability of the partnership with the capital. Okay? We try to offset the liability of the partnership with the capital para at least mag-positive siya. Okay? So that is right of offset. We try to offset the deficit in partner's capital to whatever liability we have to that partner. Okay? And then we have your fourth priority. We have your partner's capital. So, paano yung bayaran natin? So, pag may cash tayo, we pay first the liquidation expenses. After paying the liquidation expenses, we pay the outside creditors. Who are the outside creditors? These are the third parties. Next, payment to inside creditors. These are the partners themselves. And then after that, we pay the partners' capital for the remainder. So only the remainder is given to partners' capital. Only the remainder is given to partners' capital. Okay, so based on this priority of payment, we have this doctrine. This is known as your doctrine of marshalling assets. Doctrine of marshalling of assets. Okay, so what is the doctrine of marshalling of assets? So for your partnership assets, it is to be marshaled first to your partnership creditors, other than partners. And then second, we have your partner's claim other than capital. And then third, we have your partner's claim other than partner's claim on capital and profits. So, di ba, na-discuss natin kanina yan. We have your priority of payment. Sabi natin, first, payment to liquidation expenses. Second, payment to outside creditors. Third, payment to inside creditors. Fourth, partners' capital. So yan sa doctrine of marshalling assets. Pagka daw, meron tayong available assets, kanino muna natin ibabayad? First, partnership creditors other than partners. So these are your third parties. Next, partners claim other than capital. This is your inside creditors. And then partners claim on capitals and profits. This is now your partner's capital. So in short, pareho lang din siya doon sa priority of payment. Okay? So doctrine of marshalling of assets. In marshalling partnership assets, how do we marshal? First, third parties or outside creditors. Second, inside creditors. And third, partners' capital. Also, your doctrine of marshalling of assets provides also for your marshalling of assets of individual partners. So if ever we marshal the assets of your individual partners, we start first with your sorry. We start first with your personal creditors. And then after that, we have your partnership creditors. Sir, bakit kasama yung partnership creditors? Kasi 'di ba, remember a general partner? Who is the general partner again? Liable up to the extent of his personal assets, 'di ba? Pero under the doctrine of marshalling of assets, pagka liable si partner, una nating babayaran yung personal creditors niya. Kung ano man yung natira, doon na sa partnership creditors because he is a general partner. Sir, paano naman pagka si limited partner yan? Pagka limited partner yan, he is only liable up to the extent of his capital. Take note of this. For partnership creditors, general partner is liable up to the extent of his personal assets. That's why if we will marshal the assets of individual partners, you start first with personal creditors and then we go with your partnership creditors. Why is this important? So that we know our payment or priority of payment in case, guys, that we are already liquidating. In case that we are already liquidating. Okay. So what is the process of liquidation? So the process of liquidation is, first, we sell the assets. Second, we follow the priority of payment. Okay. So the process of liquidation is, we sell the assets and then we follow the priority of payment. What do we mean by that? So when we sell the assets, it means we convert the non-cash to cash. This is known as the process of realization or known as realization of assets. Sir, why do we need to convert the non-cash to cash? We need to convert the non-cash to cash, guys, because we cannot pay our liabilities through non-cash. Of course, we can only pay through cash. We can only pay through cash. That's why we need to convert it to non-cash. We need to convert the non-cash to cash. Okay? So we call that your realization of assets. And in realization of assets, you have your gain on realization and loss on realization. So what is the difference between a gain on realization and a loss on realization? In a gain on realization, the selling price of the assets is greater than the carrying amount of non-cash asset. So for example, nabenta mo yung 90,000 na non-cash assets. So let's say this is the book value. You have sold it, selling price is 100,000. So you have a gain of 10,000. Ganyan. And loss on realization happens if the selling price of assets is lesser than the carrying amount of non-cash asset. So paano naman yan? So let's say the non-cash asset, the book value is 90,000, but the selling price is only 60,000. So we have here 30,000 loss on realization. Sir, question, how do we account for gain or loss on realization? How do we account for your gain or loss on realization? To account for your gain or loss on realization, it is to be shared by the partners according to their profit or loss ratio. It is to be shared by the partners according to their profit or loss ratio. So for example, they have here a gain. Pag gain yan, guys, you need to add to partners' capital. Pagka loss yan, you need to deduct to partners' capital. Using what? Using their profit or loss ratio. Using their profit or loss ratio. Okay? So again, what is the process of liquidation? You sell the assets and then you follow the priority of payment. So what is the selling of the assets? We know it as your realization of assets. We can either have gain on realization or a loss on realization. And then we follow the priority of payment. What is the use of your priority of payment? We have here your doctrine of marshalling of assets. So if ever we marshal the assets of the partnership, ano yung una nating babayaran? Liquidation expenses. After that, the third parties or outside creditors, and then inside creditors, and then partners' capital. Okay? Also, for your inside creditors, we have the doctrine of right of offset or the right of offset. Kailan lang magkakaroon ng right of offset? If in case, guys, that there is already a negative balance on our partner's capital. If there is a negative balance on our partner's capital. Okay. Now, since we already laid down all the foundations of our liquidation, so tandaan nyo yun ha. What are the foundations? First, we sell the asset. Sell. So this is known as your realization. We have either gain or loss on realization. And then we follow the priority of payment under your doctrine of marshalling of assets. Take note, for doctrine of marshalling of assets, it provides for the marshalling of assets of the partnership and the partner himself. For the partnership, we start first with your outside creditors, and then we have your inside creditors, and then we have your partner's capital. For your partner, we have your outside creditors, and then we have your partnership liabilities. Okay. So for your inside creditors, meron ulit tayong doctrine dito. That is your right of offset. Okay? Right of offset. Tandaan nyo yan, eh? So, yan lang naman talaga yung mga susundin natin dito sa ating liquidation. So, we go now to your types of liquidation. So what are the types of liquidation? First, we have your lump sum. And then we have your installment. So what are the differences, or what is the difference between the two types of liquidation? If that is lump sum liquidation, the non-cash assets are sold in lump sum. Meaning, non-cash assets are realized at once. Okay? So yung realization pala ng lump sum, minsanan lang. So let's say you have non-cash assets total na yan. Bebenta mo lang siya minsanan. Ang tawag doon ay lump sum liquidation. Minsanan lang lahat ng bentahan ng ating non-cash asset once realized. Installment naman, non-cash assets are sold in piecemeal basis. So what do we mean by in piecemeal basis? So hindi minsanan yung pagbebenta naman dito. So it is to be distributed or sold only in case we need to sell some assets. So paminsan-minsan lang siya. Okay? Paminsan-minsan. So lump sum, minsanan. Installment, paminsan-minsan naman. Piecemeal basis. Okay? So we have two types of liquidation: lump sum realized at once, installment. They are realized in a piecemeal basis. Now we go with your statement of liquidation. So what is a statement of liquidation? So this statement of liquidation summarizes the liquidation process. Okay? It summarizes the liquidation process. So this statement presents the effect of liquidation. It shows the conversion of your assets. So ibig sabihin, it shows how we realize the assets from non-cash to cash. And then we distribute also that cash to creditors. So take note guys, pagka lump sum, minsan na natin ma-realize, we have a gain or loss on liquidation. And then we follow the gain or loss, or we share the gain or loss using the profit or loss ratio to the partners. So let's have an example guys of a lump sum liquidation. Kasi ang topic lang naman natin ay lump sum liquidation. So let's have this partnership. So let's say ABC partnership. This is the statement of financial position. And then we have here your assets, liability, and equity. So we have here your cash, 8,000. Non-cash asset or other assets, 130,000. So, ayan na. Normally, ang gagawin lang naman kasi cash, non-cash asset. Pagsasamahin mo yan. Tapos, meron tayong loan X, 6,000. And then we have your liabilities. Or gusto ninyo isa-isay natin. So, cash, 8,000.